You're watching your local news on WAND at 4. First in HD.
We have a very special guest today who's appeared on Dr. Phil and written 2 books. Activist and anti-bullying expert Gabriella is here, and she's here to talk about something we don't often hear about, adult bullying. First of all, how do you define bullying?
For me, bullying is an extreme form of meanness, and it is so debilitating that the person gets isolated from everyone, their family, their work environment, and their school.
So it's not just teasing?
Not just teasing.
Okay.
Oh, no.
When did bullying become such a major issue? Because I think some people now do think teasing is bullying. You know, it's just so widespread, it seems.
I think we've always had bullying. I mean, honestly, always. As long as there's people, there's bullying, because it's a relationship issue. But I think that the reason that we hear about it in the media is because of the suicide rates of the children. But with all the attention to the children, we're losing the attention towards the adults that need it just as much.
So adults do get bullied?
Enormously. For example, I give you one example in an industry where I think they get bullied a lot, which is the medical industry, nurses and doctors. Because of high-stress jobs, they really get bullied more sometimes than if I was just a graphic designer. I don't think my job would entail that I would get bullied easily.
Is it because they interact with people, that profession, for example, the way they interact with people, or is it coming from administration?
I think we use stress as an excuse. We use our personal issues, our own angers, to kind of lash out at other people, and all the habits that we formed as children. Okay. And so if a bully goes unnoticed, meaning, you know, it just goes through high school, nobody really talked to him or her, then you continue that same pattern. But there's something really interesting that I find in my research and going out there is that victims as children become bullies in the workforce. Ah. And that is interesting.
That's a flip of the table. So what is the first step then in stopping? For
me, the first step in stopping is that the witness that sees it becomes an active witness. And you know Newton's cradle? Okay, those little metal balls that we see at little ants' houses. My aunt had tons of those.
In every movie?
So, yes, true. I couldn't find one, otherwise I would have brought it along. When you hit the first ball, and let's pretend that's the bully, and the last one is the victim, the momentum only happens with these 2 people because of the witnesses. Okay. And so, in my opinion, it's really important that we take them out of the equation so that the bully wouldn't have the power.
And what's your advice to victims?
To victims, go out there. Go, first of all, record everything. Second, go to HR. We're often so scared, but we need to stand up for ourselves. And we need to really ask our colleagues if it's fair to continue this. And again, I want to make a really good distinction between teasing and bullying. Bullying for me in the workforce is if it's every day, and it's always humiliating, and it's always in public, so that someone else hears it too.
So it is important to get this message out about adults, not just children, because it happens all over.
I think they miss school just as much as children do. So can you imagine depression, isolation? The way is not to take pills all your life and then have a job that you really can't stand.
No. Good advice. Thank you so much, Gabriella for coming in and sharing this with us. We'll be right back.